we are. Yay.
Hey.
Oh my God, I figured out something techie.
Yeah, she
Give
did.
us some love. Give us some love. Don't hang in.
She did.
I figured out something techie.
You see us?
Do you see us, guys?
Hey, Trevor. I don't think they see us.
Can you hear us? Can you see us?
Oh,
Yay.
okay, good. You know, we're Amish, so this is hard. You know, Jedediah set this all up for us. Okay, good. What's that mean?
That means yay.
All right, I can't see it.
Okay, it means yay.
All right.
So welcome, everybody.
Yeah, we got the Lido deck in here. We got KDP. We got the Pier Runners, Pier with an I. Our buddy Trevor.
Parker's on the go.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Siobhan and Brandon. Good seeing everybody. We got Carson playing the role of Dalton. Roadhouse.
Yes.
So.
Hey, MGM family. Good to see you. Moonlight Adventures. Yep, yeah. I saw you guys earlier. Welcome, welcome. I hope everybody's having a good week so far. Got an exciting agenda tonight, I think.
Yeah, well, it's an important topic. The travel insurance. It's a really important topic, and it's something that a lot of new cruisers neglect, and some seasoned cruisers gamble on. And it's kind of funny because, in my experience, the people that are willing to gamble on insurance in any facet of life, they believe it can't happen to them, are also the ones that buy a lot of lottery tickets and gamble. They think they can win the Mega Millions, but they can't, fall and break their ankle and Cozumel.
Absolutely.
So it's just kind of funny.
51 days until you sail on Symphony of the Seas. Oh my God! And 3 days into your staycation. Are you just chilling at the house, Lido? Just staying home, not working? That sounds pretty damn good to me.
You can't do that. Josh is driving.
Hey, Paul. Driving and listening.
Oh, wow. Hey, Paul Vines.
Paul, you want me to sing to you so you can drive?
Guys, if
you don't want that, Paul.
You got to follow Paul Vines. He is the most witty truck driver this side of the Mississippi. Probably on both sides of the Mississippi.
I say both sides, for sure.
Yeah, he is. He's got so much cool trivia on his Facebook page, and he's also on YouTube. Paul Vines. He is a celebrity.
Packing for alert. Oh, take me with you. Take me with you guys. Please. I want to go. We have 23 days to our cruise. Is it 23?
No, 20.
20. Hey, Alex. We got 20 days.
Alex Ottenson, my buddy Alex.
Hey, Alex. You having a good day, buddy? I hope so. I do.
Cool. Alex is playing. You're back on the bocce ball team, right, Alex?
20 days, Carson. Yes.
20 days until we board the Magic. 18 days until we fly to New York City. So we're excited about New York City.
Oh my gosh, I can't wait.
It's going to be awesome. We are keeping our fingers crossed, guys. Every time we do this, it seems like in the last 4 cruises or so, the airlines change our flights and they screw up our plans. They screwed up our plans in Charleston royally bad.
Yeah.
But they did it slowly to us. We were going to arrive in Charleston back in March, like around noon, and spend the whole day in historical Charleston. We were really excited, and then they just kept changing our flight. Our flight. We ended up landing there like 8:30 at night.
Yeah. So hey, Amanda and Josh. So you plan to fly in as early as you can so that you have time at the destination before you leave on your cruise. And then the airline has pushed our flight back so many times that it ended up eating all of the time that we had to spend at where we were going. So that kind of sucked.
Well, with all these delays, our new plan is we try to fly in 2 days early now, so we can get a full day in the port city. Because Laura and I, we not only want to go on cruise every port in the world we can, we also want to visit as much of the United States as we can and experience those cities, not just flying at night. Everything's dark. I like Cocoa Beach. We got there super late too. and that was terrible because we had a really beautiful hotel
We couldn't really see nothing.
right on the water,
Yeah.
and yeah, we didn't get to see anything.
So what do you guys do? Are you day of, day before, 2 day before? What is your preference? We try definitely we tried 2 days before, but worst case scenario, hey Ben, worst case scenario, day
Benny.
before.
Yeah. That's our first two cruises together though. We flew in the day of, and boy, that just wears you out.
And
it's
that's
stressful.
too stressful. Yeah.
But that was before the pandemic,
Yeah.
and now with all the airline issues, and I've done a couple airline news stories, and it basically boils down to neglect of the airlines to address a known situation they knew that was going to occur. It was coming at them, and that is all of the attrition, all of the pilots that were going to be retiring. And like everything else in the world, the salaries have gone down, and it's real competitive where all these big companies are wanting to pay less and less and less for people to do these jobs, but it's still super expensive for someone to go through flight school and become a certified pilot.
Hey,
and a lot of them are looking at it and going, well, I'm going to spend all this money and I'm going to make this much money to start out the first few years. And people are not wanting to do that. And so that's where they're at. That's it. Now, COVID came and complicated the situation. And some of the airlines did buyouts when COVID first hit and bought some of those pilots out that were, 2, 3, 4, 5 years to retiring. And so now they're really in a bind. I don't feel sorry for them either because they're price gouging us like crazy, trying to make up money that they lost over the pandemic. And it's just nuts how much air.
I mean, we all know how much the cost of fuel has gone up, but it has not doubled and tripled the cost of the flights.
It's crazy.
It's just we're paying because we tell you all the time we fly everywhere. We have to.
We just booked. We just paid for 2 more flights. We paid for our. We told you about the crazy one, the one over Thanksgiving. That one was just coach round trip, $2,050 for 2 tickets from Detroit to Miami.
Yeah.
And then we're flying back to Miami 6 days later because I don't have the vacation time to at the very end of November to stay there. Otherwise, we could stay the whole week and just get back on. But that is, I believe that's $1,050. So it's $1,000 less because it's not Thanksgiving.
Yeah.
And then we booked to New Orleans at the end of January, and for 3 tickets that cost us $1,215.
Yeah, that one wasn't too bad.
No, my mom's going with us on that one. Yeah. And that was $1,215. But that's a pretty end of January. Nothing's going on, right? So you can expect airfare to be lower. And it was Southwest, guys. You guys that might be booking flights. Southwest just extended their schedule. They keep a real tight window on their flights where you can only book out so far, and they opened it up through, I believe, February now. So and their prices were much better than American Airlines and Delta, and we've had really good luck with Southwest.
Yeah,
and they give you 2 check bags free, and we've had no issues with them at all.
I used to be a straight Delta girl. Delta was my airline, and I always flew Delta everywhere. It seems like Southwest and American Airlines have been what we've flown the most. They seem to have the most reasonable rates for us anyway.
Yeah, so right now we got about, I want to say about $6,000 tied up in airfare, or no, $7,000 tied up in airfare for 5 cruises. So with that, hi Haley.
Hi Haley.
Yeah, they are. The pilots are overworked.
Oh, yeah.
They're short-staffed. It's crazy. Haley, we have a similar issue in the skilled trades. They did the same thing with us where over the last decade, when the automotive companies were going through hard times, they were doing buyouts and buying everybody out early. And when things picked up, all of the big 3 started having huge gains, like the biggest years ever, the most profits ever. And we never got back to the same staffing levels we were at before. And now it's really come back on us because we're down to, in my trade, when I was an apprentice, there's 115 of us. Now there's 60 of us. Yeah. And we're more busy now than we were back then. And none of us are getting any younger. So
Haley, your husband deserves a raise.
For sure.
For sure.
Yeah. And I've read lots of stories about these pilots, getting burned out. working nonstop, and it's not good for their health, and it's not good for safety either. To have all those guys worn out flying everywhere, and no one's blaming them.
No.
Trust me,
Mm-mm.
we're blaming the airlines. This is their own problem, and greed. But anyways, that's enough ranting about that.
That is actually a decent transition into our topic for tonight. Our topic is travel insurance, and what's the truth about it? I mean, is it worth it? What's covered, what's not covered, when can you skip it, when should you buy it? And then we're going to talk a little bit about some myths and misconceptions about travel insurance. And I think that all of us have probably either heard of or know of, or maybe even experienced some travel insurance stories where somebody didn't have it and really needed it, or needed it or had it and didn't need it. There's all kinds of stories out there. So
our first 2 cruises together, we didn't have any travel insurance because we didn't think nothing. We thought it was just to cover. We're just thinking, if we had to cancel the cruise or something happened, or we missed our flight or something. We were kind of naive about it, and we had at one of the cruises there was 10 of us that went on a cruise together, and we had no travel insurance, and we didn't really think about it. And then we, as later we started hearing nightmare stories of people. We assumed you could, if you got sick, you could use your health insurance. It would reimburse us. That kind of thing. It would work internationally.
And we're going to talk about that, about how that works.
So we didn't even think that was anything to be concerned about. We were just thinking, oh, we're not going to cancel this cruise, and we'll go and whatever. But you start hearing nightmare stories about what happens to people when they don't have it. And then when you start looking at that gamble of how much it can end up costing you by cutting corners, not having it, and not only cost you financially, it could cost you your life or your loved one's life.
It can. But it's expensive. Travel insurance is expensive, and there are times when you may not need it. And those are some things that we're going to talk about. So to start off, is travel insurance worth it? And the quick answer is it depends. And it depends on a couple different factors. Is your trip refundable through the manner in which you booked it? Like your airfare, your hotel, your rental car, do they have the free cancellation policies? And are you traveling within the US? That's another factor. And your health insurance coverage. Does it work at the destination that you're going to? That's another important factor. And also, lastly, did you use a credit card when you booked your trip? And I'll explain a little bit more about that. So if your trip is refundable and, you can cancel your airfare and, get maybe a future flight credit, or, it's refundable, then, you might not need travel insurance for that trip. If you book a hotel and, it's refundable, free cancellation, again, that factors in. You may not need travel insurance for that trip. If your destination accepts your health insurance, if you're traveling within the US and for sure that your health insurance will cover you at your destination, then you may not need health insurance. And if you booked using a credit card, you need to investigate the terms of the coverage, but most credit cards have some kind of trip protection built into the services of that card, where they may give you, cancellation, refunds, or, for certain reasons, they'll allow you to cancel that trip, things of that nature. So that's definitely, things to consider. So is it worth it? Depends on where you're going and all those factors that I just mentioned.
If you're staying in the U.S., chances are it might not be worth it to have it if you're doing a trip inside the United States. And in regards to cruising, sorry, I'm stumbling. There are 2 destinations that I can think of right now that you can go to, and you're technically going to be in the U.S. the majority of your cruise, and you guys know what I'm going to say: Hawaii and Alaska, right? Mm-hmm. So if you are sailing to Alaska or Hawaii, you're going to have one foreign port on those cruises. So those cruises are you're probably you're going to be okay, most likely, because you should be able to use your health insurance in Alaska and Hawaii, because those are U.S. states. So, but I would still recommend checking. And that's like the theme of our channel is always double check and never assume and never trust what you're hearing here on YouTube or Facebook all the time, because there's a lot of good intentions, but bad information. Because we have a, whoa, what'd you say?
Nice app.
Oh, thank you.
Get a nice app.
But yeah, it's not done maliciously, guys. It's just people, they hear something, they half hear it, they repeat it. Like right now, we've got all this stuff going. My source says this cruise line is going to do away with COVID-19 testing in 3 days. You know, And until it actually happens, it didn't happen. Yeah. So, but anyways,
I think it's important to remember the purpose of travel insurance. Travel insurance covers, your airfare, your baggage. Well, I'm going to cover it more in depth, but medical, the most important part to me of travel insurance is the medical coverage, especially when you're traveling.
And that's comprehensive insurance.
Yes. Absolutely.
Comprehensive covers all those other things. And if you are cruising like a typical cruise, you're going to need travel insurance, because say your health insurance does cover you. I'm going to give you an example. We have a friend, and he went on one cruise, and we were telling him how much he loved cruising, and he had such a bad experience. I don't think he'll ever go on another one. He went on a cruise with his best friend he grew up with, his best friend's girlfriend, fiance at the time, and his best friend's mom. And they were in Mexico. I believe they were in Cozumel. They were in Mexico. Could have been Cancun, somewhere in Mexico. Mom had a stroke. When she had the stroke, this is when they realized how things work there. The hospital wasn't going to do anything until they paid up front, cash up front. All right. So you're talking all these thousands of dollars to get medical care, to be told after they put the medical care paid up front, to be told we really can't help her. Now we're going to have to medevac her to the United States so she can get, specialized care. So when it was all said and done, between the three of them, because the mom, she was unconscious the whole time. She was out. They had to come up with like $40,000 on credit cards, multiple credit cards. They had to get money wired to them from friends and stuff to pay for all this. And sadly, she died. She died in the United States in a hospital. And that's how they found out. And then they thought when they got back, they'd get reimbursed for this money. And they did not get reimbursed for anything. They did not get reimbursed. So they were out all that money.
See, here in the U.S., for the most part, not always, but for the most part, hospitals and medical centers will treat you and then, try to get your insurance information or bill you later. In a lot of cases, the priority is to get you in and save your life.
And even if you don't have insurance, they'll do that.
Yeah, they'll save your life.
They're kind of legally required to do that. Yeah.
In foreign countries, that's just not the case.
Yeah, and I've had lots of arguments with, I shouldn't call them arguments, just like debates with people online who tried, in their mind, they're like, you can't tell me I'm going to be like in Jamaica and a hospital is going to refuse to treat me. They're going to let me die.
They will.
Yes, they will let you die.
They will.
They don't operate like these hospitals here. They have tight budgets. Like here, you go to your local big brand for-profit hospital, and you have a huge insurance company policy with a big company. They're going to get paid, and they know your insurance company is not going to pay them for months. They're going to let the hospital sit out there, that bill, wait 3-4 months before they pay them anything. But they're fine with that. They count that as that's money in the bank and everything's good. So they do that, and the government, they get to write off the stuff they do for free too. So it's just,
well, I mean,
this country does not operate, the whole world doesn't operate like the United States.
And then like here, I mean, they can sue you for what you owe them and garnish your wages. They'll get their money.
Yeah. Well,
eventually they will get
they have to get paid up front there. And that's what you got to think about.
Right. So to get back to our topic, like what exactly does the travel insurance cover? it covers it probably covers more things than this, but mostly it covers flight cancellations, trip cancellations, interruptions or delays. Any kind of lost or damaged baggage, or even delay in you getting your baggage. It covers some things to do with that. The most important thing, especially if you're cruising, is the medical emergencies and transports. They will transport you to the nearest medical facility if you have insurance. Oh, thank you, nice apps. You're so nice. We appreciate that so much. Pre-existing conditions. Yes. Thank you. Now, this I found really interesting because I assumed that pre-existing conditions would just absolutely not be covered on travel insurance, but there are some situations in which they will be covered, and they have certain criteria for it. For example, if you were well enough to travel within 14 days of paying for your trip, and you were well enough to travel when you booked your trip, then you may be covered for that pre-existing condition. Again, check with your travel insurance, but that was listed in multiple places that I researched.
Say you have like cancer or something, you're battling cancer, and your treatments are going well, and you're healthy enough to travel. Your doctor says you are, but you take a turn for the worse. So that would be a pre-existing condition, but your condition got worse. And again, it's going to depend on the fine print of your policy. Now, Laura and I have an annual policy. We purchased an annual policy through Alliance. I believe we did it after the celebration. We did it from May to May. So May of 2022 to May of 2023, we purchased a policy.
That was the millennium.
Yeah, after the millennium.
The celebration.
I'm sorry. I'm so.
Yeah, we've been on the celebration already.
Celebration, celebrity. It's all. We're festive. We're celebrating. I can't remember this stuff, but anyways, I remember the date. So we bought an annual policy through Alliance. I think it was like $750. It wasn't, how they have it. Some of you guys, I'm going to show my age here. Sears, they used to have good, better, and best paint. We didn't get the best paint. When we didn't get the good paint, we got the better paint. So we got a policy like in the middle. But you can get policies that will cover everything. But think again, or consider it like this. These insurance companies are betting nothing's going to happen to you. And you're betting, I believe something's going to happen to me.
Yeah. And
the higher the stakes are, and the more that at risk they put themselves out financially, the more you got to pay up front. So you can get the platinum policy that covers everything. I sneeze 3 times, I have to cancel my cruise, whatever. I think ours is like 44 pages long.
Yeah.
And it basically just covers like a serious emergency. We're going to get medevaced to the U.S. To either be saved or die in the U.S. Basically.
That didn't. This here gives away your age, baby. Not that.
Well, yeah, that. In fact, I can't remember anything. that helps out as well.
So we talked a little bit about what it covers: the flight cancellations, trip cancellations, interruptions, delays, medical emergencies or transports, and some pre-existing conditions. But there's different levels of coverage that you can get. It's the good, better, best categories. Of course, you're going to pay. Hey, Sagan Cruise Nuts. You're going to get what you pay for with these.
And an epidemic, that's in there. And before you wouldn't even think nothing of that, right? You're like, what, are we going to get the bubonic plague? And then we get COVID coming through, right?
Yeah.
So a lot of the policies will not cover stuff like another COVID type of, pandemic that hits. So, but you can get policies that will cover it. You're just going to pay more for them. Again, the cruise lines are really flexible, guys. They will let you, if something happens, emergency, they're fine with you saying, can I book another cruise at a later date? They're fine with that. And the airlines are also pretty flexible too. They'll let you rebook your airfare.
Yeah. So
that isn't what we worry about with the insurance, because you if you follow us, guys, you will cruise anytime. But we love cruising. So us getting the cruise credits, we're fine with that. But it's the, what if you have to be medevaced, off an island? And there's another thing too. if you like doing excursions and you're wild and you want to be doing all the crazy zip lining and parasailing and cliff diving and scuba diving deeper than 60 feet below water, you have to make sure you get a special policy that will cover that, because most of these travel insurance policies will not cover that stuff. Now, a lot of times when you book the excursion, they might offer to sell you insurance through the excursion. So make sure, if you're, a super risk taker, kind of, you like to do those high risk type activities, that you have a policy that covers you, because there's a good chance you will break your leg or your arm or something, and you will need insurance. And they're saying that at that point, the insurance company goes, we're betting your dumb ass is going to break your leg, so you got to pay us extra money here.
Make sure, I don't know about, we always bought the cruise line insurance in the past without ever really having, something that broke down exactly what was covered in that. But I will tell you that in the research that we did for this, it specifically said multiple times, if you're planning on doing excursions, zip lining, parasailing, mountain climbing, like anything that is remotely dangerous, that your insurance policy must have an addendum approving that activity for it to be covered. Otherwise, they will consider that to be how did they term it? They considered it
negligent.
To be self-inflicted.
Yeah. Oh, and the other thing, if you like to drink, like I've been known to do, a lot of times if you get injured and they find out that you were, intoxicated,
it could negate your coverage.
They could deny your coverage.
Yes, so that again will be considered self-inflicted.
You gotta be careful. You can't go like me to Mr. Senior with frogs and have 6 beers in 26 minutes. Yeah. That's not good.
Yeah.
No, but So, anyways, that is.
Those are the things that's covered. The things that are not covered are some of the things that we just mentioned, the crazy, dangerous excursions, unless you purchase the insurance that's specifically for those activities. So know that. Not covered are pre-existing medical conditions, which we just told you that somewhere it's the criteria of you have to have been well during the time of booking and well up until 14 days from the time that you're traveling. It's check with your insurance,
unless your policy just straight out says those are excluded.
You definitely want to talk to your insurance people about that. War or acts of terrorism, they are not covered. So sometimes you'll hear, like if you're cruising, you'll hear there's civil unrest in Haiti. I'm not getting off the ship in Haiti. If I hear there's civil unrest going on in Haiti, I'm not getting off the ship, because that your travel insurance is not going to cover you.
And the U.S. State Department, you can go to their website and they will tell you what countries have like civil unrest, things are going on, and they rate these different countries, and they'll give you the travel advisories for them and tell you, like, stay out of this part of this country, stay out of this part of this city. Gangs have overridden the police. Actually, I don't recommend going to that. I did that one time. I'm like, maybe we should just stay here, because
it wasn't. I said Haiti, but that wasn't where we were. I forget where we were going.
I think it was Belize.
Was it Belize?
I think it was Belize. Belize was having some issues.
They were having some issues, and we were just, you know what? We're just going to hang out here today.
but there is one thing I want to say, that a lot of people will automatically assume that the cruise line insurance is no good. The benefit of the cruise line insurance, and I highly recommend going to cruise line insurance if you're a solo cruiser, or if you're cruising with like a friend and you guys don't like doing the same activities. So like you grab drinks and you eat meals together, but like you go on excursions and you like to sit by the pool deck reading a book. So why am I using that as an example? Well, you get off the ship by yourself, right? Say you have a stroke or you fall and hit your head, and you can't speak for yourself, right? That's why I recommend that you not only get insurance through the cruise line,
yes,
you do
the cruise line will
excursions.
They will be able to tell that you have insurance policy. And Cruise Nuts asked, what is the best place to get insurance through the cruise line? Just wanted to see if there are other. Okay, so this is our opinion only. You got to find what's right for you. The cruise line insurance is great for like the
Well,
example
that's what I was
you
going to
just
say.
gave.
Say you book a Carnival excursion, you have Carnival insurance, and you are incapable of speaking for whatever reason. You're knocked out.
They're going to contact the cruise.
The excursion's going to contact the ship. The ship will see if you have insurance for them, and they can say, "Yeah, this guy is insured, and you'll be covered."
Hey,
Now, say you book a cruise or an excursion through an outside company, and hopefully they would contact the ship, because you still usually, like when you book an outside excursion, they want to know what cruise line you're with and what your stateroom number is and stuff, because they will do the same thing. But when they contact Carnival, Carnival say, yeah, this guy has insurance.
Mm-hmm.
Now, if you have insurance for like AIG or Alliance, we have Alliance, they're not going to know that.
Right.
Carnival doesn't know that. They're going to contact Carnival, and they're going to say, well, we don't have any insurance for this guy. And they're going to let you sit there, and who knows what's going to happen to you. So that's it. In that case,
definitely a pro for the cruise line
for
insurance.
a solo cruiser or solo excursion person in your group.
But if you cruise multiple times a year, if you cruise 5-10 cruises within a 12-month period, then the Carnival, for example, cruise line insurance is a couple $100.
Yeah,
it's almost $200. I can't remember the exact price.
Well, it depends on how long the cruise is.
Yeah, it can be pricey.
Yeah.
So for if you do 5 cruises and it's $200 per cruise for that insurance, that's $1,000. Whereas that's 5 cruises. If we are doing 8, 9, 10 cruises, and blue shirts, yeah, just like the vehicle. We got a theme there, Arc Adventures. We love blue. So they, 5 cruises times $200, that's $1,000. And we went on 8, 9 cruises within a 12-month period. So our whole year policy with Alliance was what, $700?
It's like $700.
$700. So
yeah, and it
was actually better coverage,
and it covers all of our travel.
Yes.
So like when we're doing road trips in that new blue Bronco, we're covered. So all of our travel is covered. Now again, the coverage has a lot of loopholes and exclusions, and it's 45 pages thick. It's crazy. And but again,
you guys go sub to Arc Adventures. They're so amazing. We love them so much.
Arc Adventures, they're awesome.
Yes.
They have some of the best.
Everybody put in there that you're content creators, so everybody can sub to everybody. You guys are all so amazing. We got the best friends, the best awesome.
And now Arc Adventures, they have some really, really good editing, and they do a really nice job. And
I mean, their content is just fun, and I love them. I watch.
You got to find the episode where he was robbed in the hairy chest contest.
I'm still mad about it.
He lost to a guy that had a shaved chest.
He didn't have any hair.
So what's going on?
It was such crap.
It's chaos.
It was ridiculous. You got to watch it.
It's crazy.
I was so mad. I'm still mad over that.
So we're watching it. It's like, well, hey, but anyways, Arc is awesome, and we found them when we were researching. I can't remember what cruise it was, and we started watching all their vlogs, and so they're awesome. And I've been inviting them to everything I can think of.
Yes, just
we need them to go on the family reunion group cruise.
Oh, you guys have to. You guys have to go on the cruise. We'll talk about that in a little bit.
Yeah.
All right. So back to our topic. So when can you skip travel insurance, and when should you buy? And we kind of talked about this a little bit already, but the quick answer is that if your airline and hotel are refundable, and you're traveling within the United States, you probably don't need it. I mean, it's not bad to have. Like, we have an annual policy, so it covers all of our travels. It's it's good to have, but we probably don't need it for those trips. But and your medical insurance is valid within the United States, so you're probably okay. But if you're anytime you're cruising, you're leaving the U.S., your insurance is very likely not able to be used.
Yeah, we heard
you really do want to get it.
There's companies that will reimburse you, but you have to be able to come up with all that money up front. You have to be able to pay the money up front. And
even if your insurance says that it covers the Bahamas, for example, even if your insurance says we cover, you're covered in the Bahamas, the Bahamas may not take your
They're not
insurance.
going to take your insurance.
They're going to say no.
When they say they cover you, they're going to reimburse you.
Yes.
And you better have some deep pockets and long arms so you can reach all the way into the bottom to pay, because it gets really expensive when they have to start flying you back. And they got to fly you back for just about everything, guys. They don't have the medical care like we have here.
Oh, so, something really cool that I found out, which I never thought of this before. But okay, so let's say that you have a cruise booked, okay? And hey, Daniel, let's say you have a cruise booked, and then all of a sudden,
hey Sig,
hey, I saw Sig. Hey Sig, okay, so you have a cruise booked, all right, and then all of a sudden, tropical storm is, you're watching this tropical storm, and you're like, oh man, dissipate, go away. don't turn in tropical storm, go away. Then it turns into a hurricane. The moment that they name that hurricane, okay, Sally, once they call it Hurricane Sally, you are no longer able to get insurance for that cruise anymore. So they say, hey, Team Reese, they say the moment that you book your vacation, book your insurance. Because if you wait until, let's say, like you wait 7 days before your trip, all the time between the time you booked your trip and the time you take your trip, all of that is covered the day after you book your insurance. So if you purchase your insurance 24 hours later, your coverage starts and it covers you all the way until the end of your vacation. But if you wait until like 7 days before your vacation, you're wasting all the time of coverage that you may need. For example, if a tropical storm turns into a hurricane, now it's Hurricane Sally. Now the insurance companies don't want to insure your vacation anymore. Yeah. So don't wait.
If you're going to cruise during hurricane season, get your insurance right away. Like she said, book it, get it right away before the hurricanes show up. So that's pretty much our opinion. Is we believe in. We don't like taking risks.
Lito, we should have had you on here. I didn't know you worked in healthcare. All right. So when I was in member services for BCB, SOK, Blue Cross Blue Shield,
they pay out $25,000.
I had one family had an emergency in Jamaica. We paid out net $25,000. The member was responsible for the rest. $250,000.
Yeah, and that's why you need to get the insurance, guys. They say most even we did a lot of research for this, and the general consensus was when you're cruising out of the United States, it's like a prime example of a situation where you should have travel insurance for medevac purposes and health care purposes. So again, there's another one. Some of you guys might catch Eddie's Cruise News. I did a story, and the point of the story was I told the story, and I didn't get into the details of it, but it was just these people didn't have travel insurance and ended up owing $50,000, and this just happened like 2.5, 3 weeks ago, and they were in. I don't mean to laugh at them. I'm not laughing at them, but they were in Cozumel, and I'm just picturing they're towards the end of the day. It's almost time to get back on board, and they'd rented scooters, and they're going back to the place to turn the scooters in, and they ran into each other. It's like a family on scooters. They had a wreck, okay, and they got hurt. A couple of them got hurt, and they end up in the hospital, and now they are 30 minutes past their time to get back on the ship. And they're in contact with the ship, and the ship's telling them, we can't wait much longer. And one of them left their passports on the ship, one of the kids, and they made arrangements for them to get the passport back. Apparently, there was 2 Carnival ships there because they said they had 8,000 guests to worry about. So bottom line is they end up staying, ship left. Then they determined this person needed medical care in the States, and they end up paying the hospital $11,000 up front for medical care in Cozumel, and then $34,000 to fly the family to a medical facility, and I believe it was in Florida. And but anyways, they're back in Texas where they're from, and they're okay. But when they got back to Texas, their total money they had to shell out was like $50,000, and they were wondering where they're going to get recouped from. And they were mad at Carnival. And the news agency that covered this report in Waco, Texas, I believe it was a local news channel, you know, and everybody hates the cruise industry, right? So they're like, and Carnival refused to pay. You know, I'm just laughing because like none of the cruise lines are going to pay. They're not going to pay for you go and run around on motor scooters running each other over. They're not paying for that.
Right.
They're not insuring you. They're not an insurance company. They're there for your enjoyment. And if you go out and get hurt doing stuff, that's on you. And then there was also another, on one of the Carnival groups, it might have been that real popular one where everybody in there is crying and complaining all the time. They were in there complaining about, I had to get a Band-Aid and they charge you for that. I went to see the doctor because I had a mysterious rash. My tummy was hurting, and it's you think you're going to get free medical care on board? Guys,
dude, that's a bad day.
Listen,
a rash and your stomach hurts.
No, these are multiple people. They were all piling on.
I was like, that's a bad day.
They'll charge you $900 for a Tums. I'm like, you know how it is. People start exaggerating and getting carried away.
We have never had to use our travel insurance, luckily, but we came really, really close one time, and it was because we put our bags out in the hallway on the last night of our cruise, and you know, we tied like purple bandanas to our luggage so that, you know, to easily recognize it when, you know, you get your, because your luggage all starts looking alike. So we tied these purple bandanas, like quadruple knotted it on our luggage. I'm looking at our luggage over in the corner there.
Grab a suitcase, but
quadruple knotted it so that you could easily see that this is our
all of our bags, our backpacks, yes, everything has purple bandanas tied on.
Our tags, our names, like everything's like so secure on there. We make sure. And then, you know, 10:30, 11 o'clock at night, they came in, they took our bags. Next morning, we go down to, you know, I think our number was 10, baggage claim 10 at the port. We go down there and we find one of our suitcases and the other one's gone. And we see one suitcase sitting there that kind of looks like ours.
About 10 feet away from
ours. 10 feet away from ours. It kind of looks like our suitcase, but it wasn't our suitcase. And I was like, I can't even say the word I said. It starts with F and ends in K. Yeah. And I was like, oh, I was so upset. I'm like, I know that's my suitcase. I know, because we both had the same
She said
suitcase.
Fark.
I said Fark. I'm like, Fark.
Yes.
I'm like, ugh, I know that's my suitcase.
I went up to one of the terminal employees. Now, these people don't work for the crew. They didn't work for, was it Celebrity Millennium? They work for the terminal.
Yes.
And I went up to the lady and she says, well, go all the way around and look. And
because one time we did find our suitcase in another, like number 8 instead of 10, and one was at 10 and one was at 8. So we did go, yes. We looked around.
So I checked everywhere and it wasn't there. And then I told him, I said, I am 99% sure that they accidentally took one of our suitcases and left their own suitcase.
So we went to the bus and I'm like, okay, well, you know, we're taking the shuttle to the airport. Maybe the person, because I looked at the name on the tag of the luggage that was left there and we got the lady's name. We asked them to call her. So they were trying to call her, but she wasn't answering because she's traveling. So trying to get a hold of her. So they're calling her at the port, you know, and the guy in the bus said her name was on the list, that she was going to the airport, but of course she wasn't on our shuttle. So long story short, they finally got a hold of her. She met us at the airport and I got my suitcase back, and it did end up being
but they wouldn't let me take her suitcase.
No, we
wanted
to take it to her because we knew we were going to exchange, but they wouldn't let us take it.
All right. So in the unsung hero of the whole thing was the kid from the shuttle bus.
Yes.
The kid who checks everybody in. He was the one that tracked them down. He was the one that made this all happen. And we were so fortunate. And he explained to us what would happen. He said that they will get her suitcase to her after all the other suitcases leave the terminal, that they would load her suitcase up on one of the last buses going to the airport, and they would get it to her. And luckily, she was at the same airline we were, so she was at the same terminal we were at, so it worked out perfect. But had it not, we would have been doing an insurance claim.
We would have had to do an insurance claim. And I know that you all understand, like you have your cruise stuff, and you have like your normal stuff, and like all my cruise stuff, like I'm adding it up in my head, and it's well over $1,000. You know, your formal nightwear, your dressier clothes at night, your bathing suits,
Her
your
27 pair of shoes.
yes, my 27 pairs of shoes,
Yeah.
like everything added up. I was literally sick over it.
Yeah, and I was telling her when we didn't know if we're getting, I said, we'll just buy it all. Don't worry. You know,
and I'm like,
we'll
but I gotta
replace
go
them.
find all that stuff again.
Yeah,
That
no one
so
wants to
I
lose.
was so bummed out. But long story short, it would have been covered if
Now,
I had, with travel.
And what we learned from that is we are going to carry our luggage off the ship.
I will
from now
never, ever, ever, ever allow
No, we
my luggage to be
we're not
taken
doing
off
that.
the ship
And we were
other than anyone but ourselves ever again.
We got upgraded on that cruise because they gave our room away, and we got off. We were in the second group off the
Mike,
ship.
27. That's 2 pairs less than Tracy.
Well, you got
Tracy's going to be my girl. I have a feeling.
Yeah, you got to have all those shoes. Now I can't. I really
I don't know
can't
what
say
he's talking about. He takes like 30 pairs.
Man.
It's ridiculous. He's got every pair of Vans almost. Yeah. Oh, he's about to show you. I'm not joking, you guys. It's ridiculous. Yeah.
You gotta have your Vans, guys. You gotta have all your colors and combinations. This is just a little sampling of what I got here, and they set a mood.
Look at this one. Kind of matches. That matches the shirt.
Yeah. So, anyways, that's just a little bit of example.
Not only does he have more shoes than he takes longer to
I
get
do
ready
not
in the
have more.
morning than I do. I'm not joking.
I shave my head. It's a lot of work.
Andy has more shoes than
this is
than
a shave,
Andrea.
guys. It takes a while to shave that.
Well, I mean, I get it.
I don't take all those shoes because I wear a size. I'm 5'8". I wear 11 and a half. Those shoes are heavy, and we got to stay under 50 pounds a bag, or you get penalized by the KGB.
Listen, I love him with all my heart, but he'll stand there over his suitcase, and his suitcase is 51 pounds, and he'll be standing there, and he looks really sad, and he's like, do I get rid of this pair of shoes or do I get rid of this pair of shoes? And, oh, but this goes with this outfit.
I'm high maintenance. All right. I admit it. All right. First, the first step in recovery is admitting you have a problem. So anyways, again, the travel insurance thing is something you don't want to play with, but we're like that with everything. Now, keep in mind, we're like that. We're the senior citizen channel in the cruising community. We feel like we're the oldest people on YouTube a lot of times. And we probably are. And we have kids older than some of you guys that are watching. So they range in age from 15 to 32. And so we are always, telling them, the pitfalls to avoid and how to be careful.
And you don't have to make mistakes because we're going to make them for you. We'll make them for you.
And we're terrible when it comes to spending money. We spend it easily.
Yeah,
we don't agonize over spending money, and that isn't us being like bougie or anything. It's just we will always make more money, but we will never make more time. So we will pay for convenience, and we will pay to have less stress, anxiety, and headaches.
So Andy and I bring different generations to our channel. You sure do. You John Wooster is older than us. Yep.
Who is?
You're right, John Wooster.
I don't think he is. I think he's only 50. I'm 53, man. Give me my 3.
Alex, I think Eddie might be a little bit older than him. Jamie's probably old. Jamie and Sharon.
Jamie's the same age as I am. Jamie.
Oh, Jamie. Yeah.
Jamie is.
Yeah.
But those guys are in a different stratosphere. We're down here, man.
You're 46. You're younger than us.
Yeah.
I'm 50 and he's 53.
I'm 53. Yeah.
So, Cruise Nuts got us.
Oh yeah, we keep forgetting about Mike. Mike is like 71. How old are you, Mike?
Mike is 58.
Oh,
Tracy's 55.
I'm just joking.
Listen,
Mike. You couldn't fly a drone if you were 71.
Yeah.
No, you got you got a young spirit to be able to operate technology.
You don't act like you don't act 58.
No,
Dr. Phil's on YouTube. He's old.
Mike's memes put him at about 16, 17 maybe. Yeah, he's a meme master.
I'm with you, Mike, because I feel like my humor never really graduated from junior high.
We know we're older in age. I don't think I'm old. I don't. Yeah. I joke around about my memory and stuff. My big thing is sleep deprivation, guys. I don't get much sleep, and I work 7 days a week. And I know you guys are probably tired of hearing that, but I get up early to go to the gym every day before work, so I don't get much sleep.
So he goes to bed about 10 p.m. after we watch one of our friends' lives. Usually get off there about 10, and then he goes to bed and sleeps until 3 in the morning day after day after day after
Yeah,
day.
and the weekends I get to sleep into 4 in the morning because we start an hour later on Saturday and Sundays. But that's how we.
You're right, Andrea. Yeah, yeah. You guys look young. You guys look like you look like you're in your late 20s, early 30s. That's what I would have guessed. And you're right, Mike. It is mind over matter.
Oh, it is.
If you don't mind, it doesn't matter.
Listen, honestly, right now, physically,
Tony from La Vida Loca is 55, I think. Oh, I didn't know that.
No, he isn't.
He's not?
No, he's a year younger than I am.
Is he? Oh.
Keep trying, guys.
Oh.
The only one older than me is Mike, but he's younger than me in mean years.
Mike is younger at heart.
Yes.
Yes.
No, but honestly, at 53 right now, because when I was 45, I nearly had a stroke from letting myself go. I was one of those guys that lived in the gym and was like physically fit until I was like 32. And then I went through depression and stuff, and my dad died. And I just stopped taking care of myself. And I just buried myself in being a father, raising my kids, working all the time.
Andy's 54. Andrea just turned 40.
Okay.
Yeah, I swear, I thought you guys were like late 20s, mid 30s at the most. Like at the most. Yeah, that was my guess.
Andy, well, I knew Andy was older than like 16 because he had hair
video,
and stuff.
in the intro video when Andy's running across all those things into the ball pit. Well, at 54, like, come on now. Could you do that? I couldn't do that.
He's probably got a lawsuit pending. But it's
bye, Haley. Thank you so much.
Yeah,
I hope you come back.
Hey, hopefully your husband his schedule eases up.
Tell him we said thank you.
We appreciate him
so much for all he does and for your sacrifice.
He's a pilot. He's working himself to death. But what I was going to say, at 45, I almost had a stroke from being obese and let myself go. And then I started going back to how I used to be and going to the gym all the time, working out. And that's why I do it, because it keeps me healthy.
Plus, I mean, you can't tell by looking at us, but we like to eat.
And
we do.
My weight will jump up real easy if I don't stay really active.
Bray's 44 and Brian is 43. No lie, I just had to double check with Bree to make sure I got my own right.
Yeah.
I do that all the time. I forget how old I am. I was like, am I 50 or am I 51? I don't even know.
But we're just joking around. But I honestly, I'm in better shape now at 53 than I was when I started my job when I was 27. I could run the 27-year-old version of me into the ground.
So I'll tell you guys something, because like basically you're all of our friends in here, but Eddie does that segment where he does the ship shape, right? And he's in really good shape. And you know how mean people are on the internet. I keep waiting. It's gonna happen, and I'm gonna tell you when it happens. I keep waiting for someone to be like, oh, you're in great shape. Like, why don't you get Laura in the gym? And when they do that, I'm gonna tag y'all. Because I'm going to need you to have my back on that, okay? Like, I need you to tear them up for me.
Well, the funny thing is, when I first saw, so how when one of your friends quit smoking and they've been smoking their whole life, and all of a sudden they just become like this, everybody should quit smoking. I feel so much better, and smoking is going to kill you, and they start preaching about smoking. Well, when I lost all my weight, I actually got carried away. I got all the way down to 153 pounds.
I know you do.
And I was preaching to everybody that, you don't have to let yourself fall apart because you're 40. When you hit 40, you can be in the best shape of your life when you're in your 40s, when you're in your 50s, when you're in your 60s. And honestly, you can. Why? The reason we fall apart is because we stop moving as much. Yes. And our metabolism naturally slows down, and we're not moving as much. Your hips aren't hurting, and your knees aren't hurting. Your shoulder isn't hurting because you're old. It's because you're not using them enough.
And I'll tell you.
That's the problem.
And I'll tell you, Andrea said she was in much better shape when she's doing triathlon, and she's exhausted from, girl, I can't even imagine. But see, I'll tell you something. I've gained 50 pounds in the last 2 years because I'm working from home. And I know you do, Carson. I worry about that all the time. I tell myself I won't let it bother me. But girl, you got nothing to worry about because you look good.
Well,
you look good. But listen, I in the last 2 years, I've been working from home for 2 years, and I've gained 50 pounds in 2 years because I'm constantly, during COVID, I'm a healthcare recruiter. So I am sending travel nurses and sterile processing techs and, rad techs and all these medical professionals. I'm sending them out to the hospitals across the nation to help with COVID. Okay. And so during that time, the busiest I've ever been in my life. So I am behind the computer 24/7, just working and working and working, hardly getting up, hardly moving, maybe remembering to go pee every now and then. I never forgot to eat though. But but truly just worked so hard, and it caught up with me. And now I have to find that balance, and I will. But like I said, I just keep waiting for ship shape haters.
Well, and that's what I was going to get to is when I lost all my weight, my son Carson was telling me, Dad, you should start, a Facebook page, and you should start Instagram.
Lito,
you should
same with me.
And he came up with a name for it, and he called it obese mode to beast mode. So as I was losing the weight, I was chronicling it on social media. And within like 6 months, I had 2,500 people following me on Facebook. I had over 2,000 people following me on Instagram. And it was mainly women that want to lose weight, because guys don't admit they want to lose weight. Guys just act like they don't care. But they care. They cry themselves to sleep. I see you out there. I know.
Yep.
I know
Katie, you
sad,
got that right. And Lito, exact same thing with me.
But anyways, I started doing that. And the thing I noticed right away was, as far as like fitness goes, I was like, a brand ambassador for several fitness companies, supplement companies. This was before I met Laura, and I had a lot of haters. Now, my social media accounts grew much faster than this cruise stuff. The fitness industry is way bigger than the cruise industry, and a lot of people in the cruise industry and the cruise vlogging community is always asking us, "How's your channel doing so well?" And I look at it and I kind of laugh. I'm like, well, it's not, in the terms of YouTube, but yes, in the terms of cruising, but we have a fitness element in there too. And that reaches, when you hashtag fitness, hashtag weight loss, those hashtags are way bigger than anything we can hashtag in our little world of cruising. So cruising is such a small thing, but every time I do a ship shape, I get instant thumbs down. I get negative comments. I get guys saying stuff, and I just laugh and I delete them. I'm used to it. And my point is, if anyone's to post anything about her, and they haven't yet, but if they did, I would. You guys won't even see it, because I would delete it before anyone even sees it, because I get all kinds of nasty stuff said to me all the time, and I just laugh about it, because you can't have any success in anything in life without having haters.
And as our channels all continue to grow, bye Alex.
Hey, buddy.
As all of our channels continue to grow, and we're all going to keep growing, you will find that there will be. I hear Tody from La Vida Loca constantly talking about people that are horrible, mean about him and Jenny's weight. They say horrible things, and
he showed a tour of the fitness center, and he's like, they're like, hey, you've never been inside one of those honestly, before, and stupid stuff like that. But here's the thing, though. The beautiful thing about YouTube,
the hate comes out.
But here's the thing, though. You got to embrace the haters, because they're viewers.
Yeah.
Okay. As far as YouTube analytics
Cruising Royal
considers, they value the haters as well as they do your biggest fans. And technically, a lot of rappers say their haters are the biggest fans, because no one watches them closer than their haters. So those haters, when they come on to give you the thumbs down, they make their little snide comments, they're going to get showed even more of your stuff, because YouTube it's a bot, and they go, hey, they're interacting. They like this guy. And they just keep showing them more stuff.
Never
like my
feel
stuff.
The haters just ignore me, right. So, hey, Lito, I wanted to go back to what you said, because I did the same thing you did. I lost like 40 pounds, and then COVID hit, and then I gained like 55. And I want to tell you something that my doctor said to me that meant so much to me. I went to the doctor, and I was like dreading it, because I know like I gained 55 pounds, and I knew that the comment was going to be made. I was just not looking forward to it. Okay. And so my doctor is looking at my chart, and he was like, hey, so, just talking about my blood pressure and blah, blah, blah. And he didn't bring up my weight, and I brought it up. I was like, I've gained some weight over COVID, and but I lost some weight before COVID, and I've done it before. I can do it again. I just got to find the balance of working at home. It's really tough. And he looked at me and he goes, you know what? He goes, I didn't bring it up because you are so far ahead of all the other people that are walking into my office. He said, you lost 40 pounds and then you gained 55. So you've gained 15 pounds. And I have people coming in here that have gained 100 pounds. over COVID. So I see that you've done this. I know you can do it again, and quit being so hard on yourself, because you could be so far worse off than what you are. And I'm proud of you. I'm proud of you that you're only 15 pounds ahead of where you were. You did it before, do it again. And I was just like, wow, that was so awesome. Like I walked out of there feeling like, damn, that was great. That meant a lot to me.
I gained 50 pounds over COVID.
Yeah.
And then I lost it. I lost it like in 6 months. It took me 6 months of struggling to get it off, because the older you get, the harder it is to lose that weight.
Yes.
But right now I get super, super lean, where I'm like super lean. And then as I get older, if I get my body fat super low now, I have joint pain. I feel terrible. My hormones get all out of whack. I'm grouchy. And so I have to find a happy medium. So it's like, I was like 165 for a while. 170 was good for me. Now I realize I'm going to have to probably stay around 185 just to stay where I feel good, as far as mood swings and just everything overall. But my joints, for some reason, when I'm lighter, my joints ache like crazy, and I don't have any joint aches. Joint aches if I.
Howie Cruz said, "You said it, Eddie. Negative comments are still showing YouTube a viewer and interaction.
Yeah.
So in the end, you win double for your time and content, and others ways to spread negativity.
Yeah.
So true.
And I can talk smack with the best of them.
Yes.
You hate me because you ain't me.
Yeah.
I can get into all that. Peanut butter and jelly.
Reese, it's like you are so right. I tell you, I walked out of there feeling inspired. So my problem is that I have to learn how to put myself before my job sometimes. Like I'll be like, all right, I'm going to go do 20 minutes on the treadmill as soon as I finish this email, and then something else pops up and I'm like, okay, let me do that real quick, because it'll bug me while I'm doing my walk, and then something else on my phone rings, and it's just, it's excuses.
When we started dating, when we first started realizing we loved each other, it was from afar. Okay, we grew up by each other, and we knew each other since grade school, but we never had a conversation until we were both divorced and living in different states. And I thought I was going to die a single man, never do it again. And I thought I was safe talking to this girl from Florida. I was like, yeah, man, she's in Florida. We're going to be good. We're just friends. And it started off just being friends. And then when it started becoming more, and she was worried about her weight being an issue, me going to the gym all the time. She's like, I don't want to go to the gym.
I don't know if we're like the right fit for each other, because you're like way into exercise. I
told her, I said, I don't want to be with a woman that wants to go to the gym. I like to go to the gym by myself, and I go when she's sleeping. And when we're on a cruise, I go to the gym. Like, well, she's getting ready. I'm at the gym. I never take time away from Laura to go to the gym. That's why I go to the gym in the morning before work, and I have to belong to gyms that are open 24 hours because of that. And it's because I don't want to take time away from her, because I work every day, 7 days a week. I don't want to come home after work and then go to a gym. What do you do?
I don't know. I was trying to get out of here.
Where are we trying to get out of?
Just close it. Sorry, guys. There we are. Okay. Well, it keeps opening that, and I'm trying to read the chat.
Right there.
Yeah, I didn't do that.
Okay. But that was scary. Houston. We almost had
that would have been.
But anyways, I told her. I said, that's not what I want, and then it takes a lot. It's a lot for a woman or a man to have their partner going to the gym all the time, and they don't go. And you got all kinds of people. I remember when I first started going to the gym, they were telling my ex-wife, "Oh, he's lost all that weight. He's probably seeing somebody." It's so stupid what people think. It's just so idiotic. I work out because I want to live long and be around for my kids. My dad died from a heart attack when he was 53. I'm 53 now. I want to be around until, I'm 83 at least. And I want to be around to see my grandkids and be around for my kids and to have a good quality of life when I'm older. So that's all it's about. I don't think I look great or anything like that. Or
yes,
I was laughing. No, I do not.
When he's all glistening, tell him, Josh. Josh, he glistens. Ask Josh.
Tell him the truth.
Josh knows.
Tell him the truth.
He glistens.
I glisten, but I don't think I look good.
Yes, he does.
I'm always telling her I don't.
Good. But listen, I look good.
No, you do look good.
I know.
But my point is, people think you're a narcissist or you think you look great or anything like that, and I don't. That's not it at all. I'm my own worst critic. So
yeah, we all are. We're all like that. But
another thing, guys, I told you guys about the basal cell carcinoma.
Yes,
I had removed from my arm a couple weeks ago. Now, I didn't talk about it, but in some of my latest videos, you'll see there's a Band-Aid back on my arm again. On my glistening skin that Josh likes. He really likes it. He says I got some kind of buttery oil on me.
Yes.
He's always thinking about
it's awesome.
You know what it is? Because he's always thinking buttery biscuits. I'm like his little buttery biscuit. But anyways, got the Band-Aid back on because when they did my suture, it's about 3.5 inches long. All right. So they did the suture. Thank you. And within a day or two of doing the sutures,
Mike, you're so
I noticed it was separating kind of in the middle, right? It was like a little bit of an opening there. And that became infected. All right. So it's like getting really bad. And I had to go 2 weeks later to get the stitches removed. So the guy removes the stitches. Now, my surgeon is in Chicago. He flies in Detroit every other Friday to do surgery for this dermatologist in our area. And he's supposed to be really good. You know, comes in, and I don't doubt it, right? But anyways, he goes, takes the stitches out, and he's like, "Oh wow, you're really infected there." I'm like, "Yeah, you know." So he cauterizes it. Basically, takes his stick. It looks like a matchstick with some chemicals, and just burning the hell out of my arm. Now he did it the first time when he removed the cancer from my arm, but I was all numbed up. I couldn't feel my shoulder for like 3 days after that. It was like I didn't feel nothing. I'm watching him burn me. I'm like going.
I'm going to be honest with you.
But he burned the shit out of me, and I'm like going, and he wanted to put some kind of packing in it because it left an opening, a hole in my arm, and they didn't have any. He's like, but it'll be okay. Just keep it covered. Put this ointment on. I said, well, should I get like an antibiotic, like an oral antibiotic? And he's like, no, this ointment, I'm going to try to do work fine. So here I am, and I know
3 weeks
and
now.
I know when I went home, I told her, I go, I don't feel good about this. I think this thing's going to open up more now that the stitches were out. And I was right, man. It started opening up. It went from being like a 1/4 inch
It started out like my nail right here. Okay.
No, smaller than that.
Yeah.
Initially.
And now
it's like the size of my thumb.
Yeah, it's like
right
this
there.
long.
So anyways,
it's like splitting open.
I'm
really worried about it.
I called a dermatologist like 2 days later. I said, hey, this thing's really opening up. And she'll tell you, I'm a caveman. I don't go to the doctor for anything. In fact, I was going to take the stitches out myself. I go, I'm just going to take tweezers and pull them out. They're, no, you got to go get a trained professional. Well, the trained professional does all this, cauterizes it, sends me on my happy way. So I called a dermatologist, and they're talking to me like I'm overreacting, like I'm some kind of hypochondriac. Now, Laura and my mom won't even look at it because they know it's gruesome. I'm like, you guys want to see it? They're like, no, I don't want to see it.
Well, because
so day 4
is scaring me. To be
I
honest.
lose my shit day 4 because it really opened up like it separated another 1/4 inch, and I'm like, you know what? I took a picture of it. I called the dermatologist. I'm going to see someone tomorrow. Someone from your office, and I want you to send me somewhere to get this thing stitched up. I need stitches. That's what I told them when I called them a couple days earlier. They contact the surgeon. He calls me from Chicago, and he left me a voice message. I missed it. So I go, oh, this dude gave me his cell phone. I took a picture of this nasty ass opening in my arm. I showed it. I made my mom and Laura look at it. They're both like,
and
then I sent it to him. This guy's like, oh my God, you're completely infected. I'm going to send you some oral antibiotic prescription. Give me the address of your pharmacy. I'm going to send it to you right away. I'm going to be back in town a week from Friday. We're going to let this get all healed up, and then I'm going to resuture you when I come back in. I'm going to, and so long story short, yeah, this thing, I got an opening in my arm.
So here's what's scary. This is what scares me about it.
They stitched it up like in.
You would have tried to sew it. Mike, you're a badass.
I would. I'd sew it myself.
I know. But here's what scares me about it. The reason that we knew that he had cancer on his arm is because it was a sore that wouldn't heal. Okay. And when it doesn't heal over any length of time, it's probably cancerous.
But this thing I got now is bigger than what the cancer was.
And it's been 3 weeks since they cut the cancer out of his arm, and it's not healing. It's splitting. It's bigger. It's like 4 times the size of when they initially removed the cancer. And
for you guys going, I know he did it at the gym. You're wrong. It was infected.
Yeah.
And what happens is if you get an incision, it becomes infected. It's going to open up like that, and that's what happens.
That
and
sounds
then
delicious.
They can't stitch it back up until the infection's gone. But if they would have listened to me when I asked for the, the penicillin from the
Super
beginning,
glue.
then we would have been good. I thought about putting super glue on it myself.
Yeah. Get some Gorilla Glue, huh?
Yeah.
Yeah, he's going to get that fixed. He's going in Friday.
Yeah, Friday.
To get it stitched up again.
Chi-Town is flying back in. Dr. Chi-Town, I forget his name. Dr. Sutton, I think is his name. And he's going to stitch you back up. He did a real nice job on the top and the bottom. It's just the middle got all jacked up. And I'm like, I'm going to have a
It busted open like a biscuit.
But
like a can of biscuits.
They don't do cans of biscuits.
Oh, I
You're
know
insulting Josh.
No. Amanda likes the flaky canned biscuits. The one, knock it down.
No, get out of here.
That's her favorite. See, he's not paying attention
to
Amanda, but I was.
Now, listen, my family's from Kentucky, and their biscuits, they don't mess with anything in a can. It's all made from scratch.
Yeah, nobody's got time for that.
Well, they used to have time for that because they used to get up when the sun was even in the sky, and they'd work all day, and they worked in the coal mines. But anyways, hey, I wasn't around for it. I just heard the stories. But anyways, guys, that's why I have a bandage back on my shoulders. And I shared all the gruesome details with you. But I'm cancer-free, supposedly.
The flaky layers. See, Amanda, I know.
You're talking about the grands.
I think it is the grands, the flaky layers. Yeah.
Yeah. They're good.
You could pull off one flaky layer and maybe do butter on that one, and then
you got the jiffy ones.
You can flake off another layer. You may not want butter on that one.
Those red lobster, biscuits are good.
Yeah, those are good.
Yeah, the red lobster. They're not a traditional biscuit.
Amanda needs to make me some of them cat heads because that really does sound delicious. Literally anything in a cast iron skillet, I'm up for that.
Yeah, there you go. Cornbread.
Yeah.
Old school cornbread.
Yes.
But anyways, guys, that's where we're at. But the moral of the story, the travel insurance is get it.
Well,
if you're a cruiser, get it.
I still have another part of the research to go through. It is the myths and misconceptions of travel insurance. So the myth is that your existing insurance will cover you. Some believe that your health care or your homeowner's insurance or your credit card insurance, that any of those things are sufficient. Truth is that they're very limited on what they will cover. So know your policies and know what they cover so that you can determine if it is adequate coverage or not, and therefore make a decision on that. Another misconception is that nothing's going to happen to you while you travel. Life is just unpredictable. I read, when I was doing the research, I was reading some articles about this, and there was one example that I thought was just silly but interesting. Like, for example, here in the States, like if you're at a grocery store and they're mopping the floor, they'll put up a sign that says wet floor, right? They may not do that in another country. So simple things that you're used to here that caution or, pay attention to this, or may not be what happens to the country that you're visiting, and you could slip, fall, hurt yourself. You just don't know. Anything can happen. Myth number 3 is that you can buy travel insurance later. If you do not purchase it while booking that trip, you might not be able to. The example I gave with the hurricane, as soon as they name that hurricane Sally, Hurricane Katrina, Lord knows, whatever they call it, as soon as that is named, it will be very, very difficult. If at all possible.
They'll let you buy travel insurance, but they won't cover the hurricane.
They won't cover the hurricane. Yeah.
Yeah, if it's canceled.
So another misconception is that travel insurance is difficult to claim. I did a lot of research on this because I've heard horror stories about people like, yeah, well, my travel insurance, they didn't cover this, and they said that they would. Most often, the reason that your travel insurance does not cover something is because you filed your claim wrong. They give very succinct instructions, what to attach, what receipts are needed, how to fill out your claim. If you pay attention to the process, read through the steps multiple times, make sure that you have all your T's crossed, your I's dotted, then your travel insurance will pay out your claim relatively quickly if you file your claim the right way. So you have to pay very close attention and do it the right way the first time, because what will happen is you'll submit your claim, you're missing this, that, and the other. It'll go through the process, get rejected, come all the way back down. You have to do it again. It's got to go through that process. Go through that process again. And then, so you're doing yourself a disservice by not being attentive to the details of the process. So just pay close attention to that. And the last misconception is that if your flight is delayed, that your airline is going to cover you. Maybe. Your airline is not obligated to cover your delay. If they have another flight that they can book you on, they will try to do so as a courtesy. But if there's any kind of a weather catastrophe or a huge mechanical error or something that's beyond their control, they're not obligated to cover you for that flight. So know that
their next available flight doesn't
booked.
meet your timing.
Yeah,
Doesn't make your timing. You're going to miss your cruise
yes.
anyways. So they're not going to give you your money back. So they'll give you maybe future flight credit or something like that.
Yeah.
But with that said, though, guys, we always, caution on the side of, just not taking chances.
But, we did, like we mentioned, we did purchase an annual policy because, it covers all of our trips, whether it's by land or by sea. However, during this process of researching for tonight's topic, I learned a lot. So we need to go back through our policy and make sure that it's truly meeting our needs.
Our policy, like I said before, is just basically covers those emergency situations where we might have to be medevaced out or, get emergency care.
See, Royal says that she tried to buy the travel insurance at the last minute and they wouldn't let her.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And the other thing too, Laura, is use a reputable company.
Yes.
So, you do your research or Google and look at the ratings in these companies. Like you guys have heard of AIG before. There's a lot of big name insurance companies out there that do travel insurance as well. Alliance is a big one. And I'll tell you, I found about Alliance because
into cruising, I don't want to stress you out. We want you to be prepared.
J and D from ParaDJ, they use Alliance, and a few of the other big vloggers use it as well. And honestly, watching vlogs is how we started, really thinking about it. But like everybody else, it's like we had to run into someone that actually suffered through it. And then
our friend who's their friend's mom passed away.
Yeah.
That was eye-opening to us. We were like, well, and into cruising, we are like, we used to always book the day before, fly out the day before our trip. Now we're doing 2 days. Because it's because
she's in Miami, man.
Yeah, I know. But I'm telling her we're stressed out about it. We are booking 2 days out from our cruise. And yes, the cost is much more and it sucks. But I want to go on my cruise.
Well, and again, and I'll say this again, and it might sound stupid to you guys, but a lot of stuff I say sounds stupid.
It does.
But anyways, what I was going to say is what we like about it is we have no limit on where we can cruise out of because it's expensive for us to get to any port because we're flying to all of them. And yes, we could drive to Baltimore, we could drive to New York, but I would be burning a vacation day to do that. Yeah. And I'm not going to burn vacation days traveling all day long. I'm not doing that.
Yeah.
And like if we were to drive to Florida, we'd have to stop halfway down somewhere, stay in a hotel, and then drive the rest of the way down there and then back the same thing. So that's adding 2-3 extra vacation days. That's 2 or 3 extra days I don't get to be at sea.
And it's more dangerous to drive far away to a port than it is to fly there.
And travel insurance is good for that too when you're doing those long road trips because you can have vehicle issues. You could run into bad traffic jams. You could run into bad weather like snowstorms and stuff like that. So that's kind of where we're at. We prepare for the worst. We hope for the best, but we prepare for the worst. So that's how we always are. Now I want to talk to you guys about our next cruise because we're going to Bermuda. And some of you guys, probably most of you probably haven't been to Bermuda like we have been to Bermuda.
No.
But Bermuda has another wrinkle. Bermuda is a very, very wealthy country, guys. And they took a long time to open back up to cruising because they really don't need our tourist dollars. They have money.
Like it.
But they don't need it. They don't need it like Cosmo. Mr. Sancho is going to go broke if we don't get back on the beach.
Right.
They're not like that. All right. So they were able to take their sweet time opening up, and they were very cautious trying to avoid COVID overrunning their country. So to go to Bermuda, we have to do a travel authorization form where you go in and give them all your details. You give them a screenshot of your vaccination card, all this stuff. It's $40 a person. We sent that in, and we're waiting to get our authorizations back. Now, they don't have 72 hours before for the COVID-19 test, for the antigen test, rapid antigen test. Like Carnival has it everywhere now. We can get it 72 hours ahead of time. Earlier while Delta was going through October, I think they changed that like in December. You had to get it 48 hours before. It made it really stressful. Now, we booked 2 days ahead, flying into New York 2 days ahead into Bermuda.
So that's
assuming we're going to do 72 hours of testing before. So doing the math, we're flying in on Saturday. We board the ship on Monday. Now we realize, and it just dawned on us, we're like, holy crap, we can't do the COVID test, and we do the EMED test at home now, guys. It's great. You got to do that. Forget about doing it in a lab or something. We had them canceled on us. But anyways, we thought we'd do it Friday, right? We got to do it Saturday.
Yep.
Luckily, our flight is like 10 o'clock in the morning. So the 4 of us are going to get up in the morning and do the EMED test. We have our 2 sons are going with us. So we'll do the EMED test online, and you get the results back in 15 minutes. Really good. But it's still super stressful because we got to get all 4 of us done, and hopefully we all pass, and then we go right to the airport and get on a plane to fly to New York. Now, we could get up and don't worry about it, go to New York, get in our hotel, and do the test from there. But what if one of us is positive? Then we're in New York. Now what do? We're going to have to fly back to Michigan. And this way, at least, if we do the test and there is a problem, we're still here when we find out.
Right.
But that is you talk about stress.
Yeah, that's stressful.
We've been dealing with this stress.
But hopefully
with every cruise,
they'll drop. Well, Bermuda's not going to drop.
No,
it,
Bermuda.
So we're going to have to do it regardless.
And that's the thing too. And I keep mentioning it. And I'm not trying to rain on people's parades, but this COVID-19 pre-testing thing is going to be based on where your ship's going. Now, say there's an outbreak in the Bahamas or something, they might require testing again. So to get in their country,
so it's going to be hit and miss.
So Canada and Bermuda are really strict, and if you're going to go to Alaska, you're going to stop in Canada, and obviously, if you go to Bermuda, you're going to need a COVID test. So
Daniel said that's why they've been sailing from their home port. You know what though? Hey, Rally's Creative Travels. The thing about, we do get cruise breaks because of where we live. We get discounts. Yeah, we do.
We get resident rates.
We get resident rates because we live in Michigan. And they know that we have to fly everywhere.
We get really good rates going out your way, Daniel. When we go like on a panorama, we got a really good rate there, and we get real good rates going out of Galveston, out of Texas.
And they allow. I've noticed because I click it and then I unclick it and then I look. But when you get like the like a casino deal, which we've been getting some good ones lately. So the discounts that they're giving us for the cruises help make up for the extra day that we have to spend in a hotel.
Well, we like to do that though. Just for clarification, guys, we like to go 2 days before. The only reason we don't is my vacation time, right? Now, so you guys understand, my Monday through Friday that's my vacation time, right? Saturdays and Sundays, I work them all, but that's by choice. It's not mandatory overtime. I work 7 days a week by choice, right? And it's to save money and to be able to retire earlier. And if all goes well, I'm going to retire in 2.5 years from the company I'm at right now. And I'm not going to quit working because I'll only be 56. I'm going to just do something different because I'm burnt out doing the same thing for 27.5 years. So, but anyways, that is, if like say the cruise is on Sunday, we can fly out Friday night after work, get there Friday evening, spend all day Saturday in the port city, enjoying being a tourist in the port city, and then get up Sunday and go cruise. That's what we're trying to do now. We're trying to spend an entire day or even 2 days if possible in a port city. Like we're going to do New York for 2 full days. We're going to get in New York at noon. All goes well with our flight. God help us. We'll be there from noon Saturday until we get on board the Magic on Monday. So we're going to be tearing it up in New York City. It's going to be awesome. We're going to do a bunch of vlogs there. We're really excited about that.
Yeah.
But again, that is the beauty of being able to look at any cruise and just go, hey, there's a good rate on this cruise, because we know the airline's going to cost us a fortune no matter where we're going.
You see what plane wrote?
No.
He said I would be burned out seeing the Ford logos all day. Laugh out loud, kidding. I love my fusion.
Yeah, you know what's funny is I actually work at Laura doesn't like me saying where I work, but I work at research engineering for Ford. So it's kind of like a college campus. We have like 60 buildings spread over 3 cities. And as far as that industry goes, it is very interesting because you get to see all the prototype vehicles, and we support all the testing and design of the vehicles. So I get to see it all, and it's pretty cool. And I can go into any building because we fix everything. If it can break, we fix it.
You brought up a good point. I want to ask these guys what they think about that. So how much do y'all tell about like what you do for? We talk about what we do for a living, and that's fine and everything. But like, do you invite like your coworkers into, your channel? Do you feel like you try to keep that separate, like your professional and your hobbies? Like, what do you think about that? Because something happened today in a meeting. I have a few friends that I work with. A lot of people, know that I love cruising, but not a lot of people know that we have a YouTube channel and so forth. So today, in our channel, in one of our meetings, one of our teams meetings. Josh doesn't say, he tries to keep it separate. I kind of feel that way, but today I got called out. So we're in this teams meeting, and somebody asked me a cruise question, like, hey, what's the best cruise line? And I said, well, it depends on what you're looking for. If you want to party, like party hard, I say Carnival. If you want, more luxurious, like, if you want to be bougie a little bit and just kick back and luxurious, I like Celebrity for that. It depends on what you're looking for. And then one of my coworkers was like, you got to go watch our vlogs, and like, boom, posted our YouTube channel. And there's like 100 recruiters in there, and a bunch of people subscribe, but nobody's in the chat, and nobody logged into the live. So, but like a bunch of people subscribed from my work today. And I was like, it's all good. I'm not embarrassed of what we do. I'm proud of what we do, and I want all the subscribers that we can get. But so we got like 100 subscribers from my work today.
See me.
Amanda, I wasn't sure I was ready for all that, but they're here now.
I'm not hiding it from anyone where I work from, but I don't talk about it either, because none of the guys I work with are cruisers. That's exactly it, they have no interest in cruising, none at all. In fact, they're always joking around, teasing with me about it, all the time. And they're getting curious. It does
spread like wildfire.
Because I do a lot of cruising, and I talk about the cruises, but I don't talk about the vlogging thing, because again, I know they're not interested in it. And if they're going to watch the vlogs, they're not going to be watching because they're interested in cruising.
No,
they're just going to be watching because they're curious what I'm doing.
Right. Right.
And again, we talked about this earlier. You guys have just logged in. The haters, It's like I work with. There's like 1,000 people where I work, right? And I've been there 27 years. I know it's like a small town, man. Everybody knows everybody, and I get along with everybody pretty much. I don't really have any enemies or anything like that, so I'm not really worried about anything like that. But I like to keep my private life private from those guys. And even though this is public, it's still part of what I do when I'm outside of that place. And I am not. That company doesn't own me. Okay. I own me, right? So Laura does technically.
I do.
But you got to know.
Just make sure that's clear.
But anyways, they don't own me, right? So I do whatever I want to do on my own time, right? And you'll see me doing vlogs like in the middle of the day. I'm on my lunch hour. So I'll go into an empty conference room or an empty cubicle in one of the mini buildings we have, and I'll do my vlog right there, and my news
Blaine,
vlogs.
Do you get the haters? We're starting to get it too. Listen, y'all, it's going to be.
Listen,
as we all get bigger, and we're going to.
I've had haters since I was like 13 years old. If you're good at anything, if you have any success at anything, you better bet you're going to have haters, and that's how you can measure your success. The more success you have, the more haters you're going to have. And
people question, like at work. I'll use work as we do, Mike. We do the best we can. For me, I don't care what anybody says about me. I mean, it might hurt my feelings for 10.4 seconds, and then I'll shake it off. But if someone ever says anything to him, that will bother me far more than anything anybody says. Nobody has said anything. Well, there's been, and I take that back. There's been he's got some hate,
but listen,
on some things. But you know what? That bothers me. It bothers me.
Listen, I'm going to tell you guys.
Amanda, the silliness is what makes you great. Like last night, even just the girls were on the screen, just chit chatting away, and the guys were in the chat, and they had their own thing going, and the two together had me rolling last night. I had such a good time. Don't ever change that. Hey, Christine, so glad you came in. Thank you so much.
In regards to the whole haters thing, right? If you're going to give that any thought, and if you're going to let that affect the way you operate and the way you approach things, you're letting them win.
Because
right?
all the subscribers that are subscribing to our channels, they like something about us, about who we are and our silliness, and the variety of things, the creativity of it all. The things that make us likable are the things that make some people angry, because they know that they may or may not possess the silliness, or be able to show off their glistening biceps.
Hey, I don't show them.
Or whatever that reason is.
Yeah, but gotta keep going there. See,
I like the glistening.
Guys, I have thick skin because I'm married to her, and she is ripping on me.
I like the glistening
right in
biceps.
front of all you guys.
I'm fond of them.
In front of the Lord and all of you guys. No, but seriously, I've worked, and I keep saying it, I'm a blue collar guy. I'm third generation skilled trades. I went through an apprenticeship. Where I was told I was lower than whale shit as an apprentice. Got picked on. I played sports my whole life. I'm a little guy with a big mouth. I fought everybody, and you can't hurt my feelings. Okay, so
unless you talk about his glistening biceps,
yeah, it doesn't hurt my feelings. Yeah, I mean, some guys don't have biceps, so you got to look at your blessings. But
Papa glistening biceps from now on.
We got it.
What is that? That's PGP.
But again, and you can't.
Blaine, you're right. It is about as low as you can.
What you have to do too, and another thing, guys, and I was a coach for years, right? And I tend to I coach everybody, and it's not done intentionally. And I'm a dad, so it's like just one of those things that I do. You really can't. You have to have your goals, right? And there's this thing in society right now that if you have any confidence, you're a narcissist, you're arrogant, you're cocky, because we're all like crabs in a crab basket, right? You don't have to put a lid on that basket, because every time a crab tries to crawl out, another one pulls them back in.
It does, doesn't it?
So you can't let the naysayers around you pull you down. Yeah. And then another thing that will happen is, if you want to be better than you are, you have to surround yourself with people that are better than you are.
And every single channel that is in here right now, all of us have that in common. Whether you are a vlogger or just a content creator, we all put a sincere effort into being the best that we can be, and in whatever way that we can be. And what I love about our community is that we lift each other up. We help each other out. We've learned a ton from Siobhan and Amanda. We've learned from all of you guys. And Mike, you've given us some really great feedback, on our channel, and everybody looks out for everybody. So,
and we're all doing the same thing, guys. Like last night, I was popping in and out of different lives at the same time, and I was running into a lot of the people who are in here now, and all the lives are like, hey, we're laughing because we're trying to watch everybody's lives. You're trying to support everybody, but what you got to be cautious that it's nice to have all these friendships, but they can become a problem when they become cliquish, where you start all getting together, and then you're like, well, we're going to stay away from these big channels, or we're going to stay away from these channels, or we're going to hate on these guys over here because they're doing something that we don't agree with.
Yeah, we don't want to do that.
We don't do that.
No,
so
I don't think anybody here does that either.
And it's like, so we're friends with some of the big channels. We haven't benefited in any way, shape, or form from any of that. The most we got from any of that is we took a picture with EECC, Jason and Elisa. We took a picture of them with them on the Vista, But we've never been on a vlog with them or a
Nope.
vlog with any
Nope.
big channel. That's the only big channel we've ever seen. But we talked to them
I've talked to Sharon on the phone a handful of times.
We talked to them on the phone. We've talked to them online and stuff like that.
Yeah, but you know what? I always feel like, that the channels, the real big channels, like, and as we get bigger, we're going to feel like this too. I'm a fan and I'm a supporter, but Blaine, you make a really good point. I'll talk about that in a second, but I don't want the bigger people to feel like we're trying to like ride their coattails. We're trying to make our own name.
Yeah.
But at the same time, like, you want your name said on their lives. You want that picture of them posted because you want to try to, to get a boost if you can. But at the same time, you don't want those creators to feel like you're trying to use them.
Well,
that makes sense.
I look at it like this. When we started watching the vlogs and we really started getting like, man, they're having so much fun. And that looks like fun. We were watching EECC.
Yep.
We were watching Sharon at Sea. We thought Jamie he's hilarious. He's awesome. And Jason is crazy and he's fun. And we were watching him going, wow, man, we kind of felt like we could do that. That's we had fun. And we're like, it would be cool. It'd be cool to do vlogging and have as much fun as those guys are having. So once we started getting out there and going, we started meeting people that had been doing it a little bit before us, and they've had some success and they've been stalled a little bit. And now that they're stalling, they have like this thought that there's some kind of something's working against them, and these big channels got this going on and that going on, and there's like some kind of conspiracy. And it's like we were told, yeah, we don't deal with those guys. Those guys have groupies, or these guys have groupies, and it's like,
I know who you're talking about.
Listen. Yeah. I am a groupie.
Yeah,
I'm a groupie of some of those big channels, and I don't give a shit if you guys think bad of me because I wouldn't be here doing this right now if I didn't start watching those guys.
They inspired us to do this.
It's like, I don't want to be like them, but I do take inspiration from them, and I think what they do is really, really cool.
I do want to be like them. I want 100,000 subscribers.
Well, yeah, you want the subscribers, but you don't want.
I want to be like.
You don't want to act like them.
No.
I'm saying emulate them and copy them. That's why we were talking about how we're on the magic. We're going to do traditional vlogging. Day one was a rocky day at sea, and do it all the way through.
And I'm going to make him use that voice,
and I will too. And because
it is a lot of work.
I'm a non-conformist, but what I do still takes a lot of work. But what I like to do is I like to do things live. I don't like stitching a bunch of stuff together because I can't say my thoughts coherently in one take. When you see me in the news, it's almost every single time that is one complete take. Now it might take 3, 4, 5 times to get it down, but I don't like doing the cut. So I'll leave a little like
the editing where it pieces it together.
I don't like that because it's not natural, and I don't like it. And I'm really stubborn, and I want to do things really smooth and easy. Like doing this live is really easy for me because I like to just go off.
Amanda,
I
watch everything that Parody DJ every day. Like when the Parody DJ puts out I love them. You listen, when I saw Elisa from EECC sitting on the cruise on the Lido deck, I know I look like a friggin' idiot. I walked up to her and I was like, "Oh my god, I'm a big fan," and she's just looking going. But they were so nice. And then I took a breath, and then I was like, "Okay, I'm sorry, but I'm a fan." And we were so little, like I don't even know if we had maybe 300 subscribers at that time, and they were so nice and talked to us, and and when we go on the vlogger cruise, I hope some of you guys are going on that because I'm going to be starstruck because I just love them guys.
And we know some small channels that will not even think about going on that one. They're like, I don't want to go around and watching those people with all their groupies. I hope
please tell me, Daniel, you got that video. His wife almost tackled Tony at the Vegas meetup.
Oh, awesome, man.
And that's me.
Listen, I'm the same way. I can't wait to meet these guys in person because they inspire me to do this. It's like, well, and again, like Tony, I love awesome, Tony.
Blaine. I'm so happy to hear that because I love them so much. And if they were like rude, I would probably cry.
And I love Tony. I think Tony's awesome. And Jay and D. Jay, well, good morning. All right.
Mike, I cannot wait to meet you and Tracy and Daniel. I cannot wait to meet you and your wife. Honestly, I'm so excited. And we're smaller channels, so we probably won't. We probably have to sit at the kiddie table, but I'm all right with that because I love the company that we will be in with you guys.
Yeah,
so.
And part of and that's another thing too.
We're going to be at the kiddie table.
She mentioned about mentioning why we bring up where we work and stuff. We get a lot of like private message. I get hit with a lot of private message conversation where people want to know, what do you guys do? Are you guys in the travel industry? How do you afford all these cruises? What do you do? And what's your angle? How are you making money on this? What are you doing? What? And they always think that we are somehow making money doing this. And it's like, we did get our first. We got our first.
You know what?
We got our first check.
Parker's on the go. We're like, we got our first check, and I was like, wait.
We're like, shut up! What?
We looked. We had it set up right.
I didn't finish my AdSense account where I didn't put my tax information in, and I didn't see it.
And like I said, again, we make all the mistakes, so you don't have to. So when that monetization start.
Yeah, you guys get your AdSense account set up right now.
Yep.
And it's just through Google AdSense. Just do a search and do what it tells you and get that all lined up.
Mike, it was over $100. It was
$131.
Listen.
And that's what we got.
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
That's a couple.
And it just went there yesterday. I go, look at this, man. We are rolling. Yeah. Ballers. But anyways, yeah, it's funny. But
cruising is fun anytime.
But we keep, like I said, we kept getting people asking us, what do? You do this. So we don't hide it now. It's just like we don't. This is what we do. Now, I'll be honest with you guys. In 2.5 years, when I retire from being a millwright, a skilled trades guy, I'm gonna be looking at doing something else, and it could be something inside the travel agency, not in the travel agency, but in the travel industry. I wouldn't be a travel agent, but it'd be something in the travel industry, possibly. But ultimately, I'd like to grow this.
Yeah, we're going to see you, Blaine, in November.
To grow this channel and keep doing something with this.
And this would be. I'm always going to do my job. I'm not going to retire. I'm 3 years younger than him, so I'll wait my time. And I'm successful at what I do, and I like my pay, so I'm going to keep doing it. And I get my flexibility. It doesn't matter how much vacation time I have because I can work on the ship. And it's all good with that. But for him, we got some goals, 2.5 years from now, we are going to try to make it so that our channel is big enough and bringing some income in, so that, he when he retires, that buffers it a little bit. And then he's going to get a different line of work.
I'll get a pension, guys. It's a small pension, and I keep our health insurance. The health insurance is through my company. But right now, at my job,
cruising, same here. People think we're rich too.
It's crazy at our job right now because they're remodeling the entire place, and we've been open to work 7 days a week since 2015. And doing that, I more than double my income by doing that. And that's why, and I'm doing it so I can get out early.
But that overtime is not going to last forever.
No, as soon as this thing's done, we're going to go down to 40 hours, and it's going to be like. It's not going to be worth staying there because I can collect a pension and then I don't even have to make a big salary, and I'll be able to make more than I'd make working 40
in
hours.
Other words, that's when you go to your cruise and you call an Uber, Eddie's going to pick you up.
It could be me.
It could be Eddie.
I'd be your Uber guy.
He could be your ship shopper.
I could
he might show groceries.
Up. I might be doing a little bit of everything.
Yeah.
Selling plasma. I'll be your pusher.
If you order an Uber and it says Eddie's your driver. Eddie's your driver.
And I have medical grade marijuana. No, I'm joking. Everybody
will be requesting.
People are like, why is your electricity gone up so much? Don't worry about that.
Good night, Katie. We love you.
Yeah, Katie. And but anyways, so that's kind of where
listening Uber driver. Yeah. That's your dude. That is it. You go wear your tank top.
You know what? If Josh wasn't so big, he'd be in so much trouble.
No, that was Mike.
No, but Josh came up with the listening thing. He's lucky he's 6'7".
You know what? When you and Eddie get together, we have to take a picture because it's going to look like the twins with Arnold Schwarzenegger and Danny DeVito.
Come on now.
No. Was it Danny DeVito?
Yes.
Okay, yeah, you're going to be Danny. He's going to be Danny DeVito. Josh, you're Arnold and he's Danny.
The Biscuit King. Yeah, listen. that's kind of why we bring it up, and again, I tell my kids all the time, they're like, Dad, you make big money, and I go, because I'm stupid. A smart man figures out how to make more money working less time. They don't work more time to make more money, but that's how we're able to do what we do, and that's why we're working so hard. And she is just driven. She is like a piranha. She has to be on top. She has to be one of the top producers of her company.
I'm greedy.
And her company does not care where she's working from, because she produces even on the cruise ship. Like I told you guys, we're getting ready to go to Mr. Sancho's for the first time, and she's like, "Got emergency." She's got her laptop out, and I'm like, going, but cruise nuts say that we got to.
We got Mr. Sancho's,
and we got there at like 10:30, and we're like in the back corner, like looking at. There's nowhere to sit. And
Amanda said that Josh just flexed, and then Blaine said, "Did you see anything?" Laugh out loud. Yeah.
Come on now. But hey, look, Josh, this is a Richardson hat, buddy. Just thought I'd point that out to you. He was talking about Richardson hats.
Yeah.
It's also a Bronco hat. So yeah, that happened yesterday, guys. I am bragging about that because I waited so long to get that damn car. And it took 13 and a half months to get it. Mm-hmm. And there's people that have been waiting longer than me. And I kind of played, I got impatient and really started making some phone calls and getting some inside information, and they got the ball rolling. I got it. So I'm happy about that. But look, it was a long, stressful ordeal. And the bad thing is, initially my truck, they were going to let me turn my truck in early as long as I did it within 90 days on my hat's cricket. As long as I did it within 90 days. And we got Blaine, inside the 90 days.
Blue is our favorite color.
So now we got to keep the truck into the end of the lease now. I couldn't turn it in early.
Yeah, so we have 3 vehicles right now, and they're all blue.
Yeah, they're all blue. 2 of them are identical blue, Velocity blue. And
mine's a different blue.
She's got an Edge ST, a 2020 Edge ST, in performance blue is what it's called.
Which is beautiful. But, man, I don't want to go to work tomorrow. I want him to call off, and I want to play hooky, and I want to take the top off the Bronco.
And that's another thing.
Go around. But my hair, like in that Bronco wind, I'm going to look like Shaka Khan.
And the thing too is I can't take a day off for anything. Nothing. I've got every minute accounted for from now until my vacation renews on December 1st. Every minute is accounted for. So it's all going to cruises, guys. Every bit of it. So if I get sick, I'm going in sick. I got no choice. So
well,
I just don't acknowledge illness. It doesn't exist. It's a state of mind.
He has no sick time, so
I never did. I'd never do that anyway.
So what did you guys think about the travel insurance topic? Did you learn something? Yes, Carson's getting a Bronco Sport, but he's not picking blue though.
No, he's going to get green.
He's going to do green.
Yeah.
So did you guys get something out of the travel insurance? Did you learn anything? Did it reinforce your thoughts on why it's important to you? What'd you think? Great topic. Good. All right. I'm glad.
Well, it's a boring topic, but it's important. It's one of those things that, if you don't have it and something happens, it's like, you're doing GoFundMe trying to get your money back. It does make me
want to go through our policy that we purchased and read the fine print, to make sure. For the highlights, Blaine, cruising, you definitely need the travel insurance, and you want to pay attention, especially to the medical coverage.
For the health care,
for the healthcare,
and for medevac. Because most of those countries they're not going to want to really treat you. They're going to want to send you back to the United States.
The question that I have that I didn't have time to research because it popped in my head like before we started the live was like, what happens if you need to use your medical coverage? Like, what do you call your
they give you a policy number, and you have a contact number.
Like, I didn't know how that worked out. Like, do they talk to the hospital and say,
I have it all saved in the phone.
Our friend Darian broke his leg in Germany last year and was thankful he got insurance because they wouldn't have been expensive. So even land vacations are. Yeah, absolutely. I just wasn't sure like how you initiate the hospital knowing that you have travel insurance and coverage.
You tell the hospital you're with Alliance. Alliance has reps that handle in all the different countries that will handle the communications with the hospital and get your claim paid. So, and again, and I mentioned earlier, that's one of the benefits of going with the cruise line, because that cruise ship is sitting there in that country at that dock where you're in the hospital and you're having direct communications with Carnival or Royal Caribbean or NLC, whoever you're
Daniel
cruising
said
with.
my wife's father had a fall and a seizure on a Panama Canal. They kept the dad in the hospital for almost 2 weeks, and the doctor had to be on the plane flying him back. $29,000 insurance paid for. Wow,
So that's good. Did he have Medicare, Dan, or did he have like travel insurance? Because we did read today that Medicare is accepted in some countries.
Wow, Blaine, that's awesome. I didn't know that was even possible. They sent a nurse.
Yeah, I've heard of that happening too before, because you need them. And I've even heard a story recently where a Carnival nurse
travel insurance
flew in a helicopter, medevac with a Carnival person who had a I think an aneurysm or a blood clot in her leg or something.
Oh, wow.
And they went
that was 15 years ago. Wow.
Yeah, that's crazy.
Wow.
Yeah, travel insurance it's one of those things you don't want to ever have to use.
Yeah.
You don't mind losing the money on it because you don't really want to have to use it. But if you need it, up here in the north, guys, we say you only need four-wheel drive when you need four-wheel drive.
Right.
So
it's better to have it.
Yeah, it's better to have it.
It's better to not need it and
yeah,
have it
yeah.
than need it. And you know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
It's better to have it and not need it than need it. No, that's opposite.
It's better to have it and not need it than to not have it and need it.
This right here, glistening biceps, smart, intelligent, finishes your
not
sentences.
all that.
Can finish your sentence for you when you can't talk.
Well, but anyways, guys, that's again, we'll get into more fun topics next time.
Yeah, we'll make next week's topic a little bit more fun. But we just thought this was important.
And again, with the Bermuda thing, it's pretty interesting. We'll let you guys know on our channel how that goes, like the travel authorization forms when we're going to get it.
Blaine.
Yeah. Well, hey,
he's taller than me. That's all that matters.
I'm taller than Jason from EECC.
Yes, he is. Jason, I think, is like 5'6".
Yeah,
Eddie's
I'm 5'8". I'm a true 5'8". Now, I'm not a 5'8" like you guys that say you're 5'10" and you're 5'8", and we look eye to eye. I'm 5'8", for real. So, yeah. So
he's real, yep.
But it's never stopped me from doing anything because, I have big dreams and goals, and I strive hard, and I'm like Corky.
You know how Chihuahuas are.
That's right.
Now,
if I was Josh, if I had Josh's size, the Lord doesn't put this much attitude in a body Josh's size, because I'd take over the world at 6'7". I would be in charge of everything.
Most big men I agree with, but Josh has got some. He's got some oomph to him. He's not.
Yeah, but he doesn't. He's not going to take advantage of that. He's been awarded with a lot of power, and he's not going to abuse it. I'd abuse it. When we were apprentice,
6'2".
Hey, one of my apprentices, when I was apprentice, guy
we're
went
going to
to
call you El Gigante, Blaine.
Guy went through the apprenticeship with me. He was 6'6", and the journeyman had us doing all kinds of god awful stuff. And I'm like, dude, if I was you, I'd have the journeyman doing stuff. Yeah, Jay's 6'5".
Yeah, he is tough.
Yeah, it's like I've been around. See, here's the thing about the big guys. All right, I've been around big guys my whole life, and no one messes with them because they're big.
Yeah,
they always want to fight guys. You
got to be the scrappy guy. Yeah, absolutely.
My buddy Keith, he's 6'6".
I think he's 6'5".
Who, Jay?
Yeah, I think he is because I remember like in the shower, in the shower with Jay. We've all been in the shower with Jay, by the way. If that's a little bit weird, it is what it is. But I think he would say, I'm 6'5", and
he's like 6'5", and Dee's 6 foot.
Yeah,
so they're
6 foot. Yeah,
they're both big. And now
they hang out with Jason and Elisa.
And Jason and Elisa are like they're both real
very
little.
tiny.
Yeah, they're real small.
That's why they don't probably get much footage of them standing all together. They probably don't do that real often.
No, but what's cool about Jason is he says all the time, I'm 5'6", so he doesn't like it. It's no big deal, man. Who gives a shit?
We're all different shapes, sizes, heights, and it's all good.
But
I think this is a good place to end it tonight.
Yeah,
we almost did 2 hours.
We probably should wrap it up. Yeah, we were on here a long time. And we thank you guys for hanging in there with us.
Thank you so much. We appreciate you.
And
I know, Blaine, I saw that. Oh my God, I felt so bad. I sent her an email, and she had to shave her head too. She had something removed on her, like a cyst or something on her head, and the surgeon like shaved it too far back. And you know what? he probably didn't have to go that far back. I mean, I'm not a surgeon, but so she had to. Oh, I feel so bad. At least it's having a
Those
rough time.
surgeons are
We
crazy.
love you, cruising as fun as every time. Can't wait to see you guys
Yes.
on the family cruise, and I think we might. Are you guys going on the vlogger cruise?
But we got to get more people to book that one, man.
Yes, you guys. If you're not on it, join us. Amanda and Siobhan can get you a room. I think the deal is still the deposit. Amanda, is it still $50 per person deposit right now, or is that over with?
I think you said last night it was $50.
Last night, yeah, but I know it's ending soon. I'm Vlogger and May 20th. Awesome, Daniel. I cannot wait to meet you.
That's awesome.
Made it in the last minute. That's all right. We're happy to have you.
Yeah,
yes, we can. Okay, good. Siobhan said yes. It's still, you guys, it's still $50 per room. And they got some great, there's a little get together for our group, and we get champagne and strawberries.
You get honey buns.
You get someone said something about honey buns. I don't know if they were joking or not, but it's a possibility that honey buns may be involved. And we're all going to get to hang out together, and it'll be so much fun. So if you haven't done that, get a hold of Siobhan with Parker's on the Go. Get a hold of Amanda with Have Luggage Will Travel. And join us. Okay.
Yeah, it's gonna be awesome.
All right.
And that's a cool cruise, man. Eight
Josh
nights.
is providing the honey buns.
Yeah.
I think that's only fair.
That's what he said.
I mean, he ate lemon cupcakes without us last night. It was a little bit rude, but we forgave you.
Maybe I'll drag his big butt to the fitness center and have him get glistening with me.
Yes.
How's that sound, big fella?
We'll have a special guest ship shape with Josh and Eddie
and Brandon.
We'll get Brandon in there too.
Brandon will be sweating. He'll be sweating glazed sugar out.
Yep.
Yeah.
There we go.
No, but it's going to be awesome, guys. So make sure you book that, and you got plenty of time to pay for it. It's going to be awesome. Get in there, do it.
Mike, we're going to get you in there too.
Yeah.
All right, guys. Have a great night. We'll see you next week.
Just a disclaimer. I'm not taking anyone into the gym. Not after you made fun of me. No. I'll take you guys out drinking instead. How about that?
So hey, if in case you don't know, Parker's on the Go has their live on Thursdays at 7. Is it 7 p.m., Siobhan?
Yes, 7 p.m. Eastern time.
On Thursdays.
Have Luggage Will Travel is Monday at 6:30.
Bye, Vincent and guys. Love you. Mwah. All right, we'll see you. Hopefully you guys join us with Parker's on Thursday. He may not listen. Bye, you guys.
Yeah, all right.
Have a good week.
Talk to you guys.
Bye.
Bye.